Alright, I'm going to do a quick video on how I built my mail program, my bulk mailer. What I used was a Node backend and a fetch front end. So the backend is a separate microservice that hosts the subscribers and sends them to Mongo databases. And the front end just basically calls the backend with the REST API calls. So here I have my server. So I have right here I have a Visual Studio Code up and running, and this is the server, the back end here, this server page, and I have my routes, and I'm using path, passport, body parser, mongoose, and these are the routes that we're using, and it's purely a NodeJS backend. It doesn't render any web pages. It can, but I don't. So that's the back end. So what I do is I have a JavaScript file in my route called subscriber.js, and to send an email I post to API subscriber mailer, and this post in the back end gets executed. This code starts to run, and it pulls the body information from the request from the client. So when the client submits the button, the data is picked up off the page, sent across the wire, and request.body picks up the request and all the HTML, everything. And then what I do is I store this information into variables, from, to, subject, and whatnot. And then we have nodmailer piece of code here that sends a message response.json that it's done. But these options, it sends it to the mailer, and the mailer is some other code at the bottom here, right here. This is the transport. So this is where nodemailer, the guys who put nodemailer together, just gave us some simple commands to create here inside our route to fire off the email. It's quite incredible how they built this thing. So that's the back end. So on the front end, I basically have a website with a page called mail.html, and this is a simple website, and it's fired up as static HTML pages, but they're refreshed with AJAX calls. So AJAX calls are called by using fetch API. So down here I have my fetch API somewhere. Not sure why I can't see it at the moment, but I have to link to the fetch API in my mail page because I'm making fetch calls. So that's just basically HTML, but I'm actually making the fetch calls inside this page here, mail.js. So I'm doing the fetch call here, and I'm sending it as a content type JSON and posting data to the back end at this same URL I just showed. So that's what's happening, and that has to be sending JSON to the back end through the body variable that fetch has set up. So I just send the method, the headers, the body, and I pull the to, from, subject, and HTML body off of the form up here. So what I have here is a button, and I click that button on the page, Control C. Let's just go to my mail page, Control F, Control V. There's my button here, and it's basically send mail. To see that button, we need to go over here. So this is my mail page, mail.html. This is this page over here, mail.html, and this button is down here, send mail. So this button is triggered by this on click event, which this is a jQuery calls the simplest way to set up click events. And this is more jQuery that just picks up the values off the form. For example, form mail to, it's this field up here. So whatever's in this field, it gets picked up by this piece of jQuery. I trim off any leading spaces and trailing spaces. So that's how I pick the data up off the form, and then I prepare a JSON object, and I associate the from, to, subject, and content off of the form into this JSON object and send that object to my send mail function here. This is my standard practice that I have. That way this function here can be reused, and then anytime I want to have a new button, I just gotta prepare just this amount of code, and this will always be reusable down here. That's my modus operandi. So here we go. We're calling my backend with fetch. We're sending a post request, and we're setting up the content type application JSON. And this is I have to stringify what's picked up here into the body tag, method header body. And then a response comes back with a promise. This then and then are promises. So this is async, JavaScript async call. And I get the JSON data back, and I put it into the feedback email tag, which is this tag right here. This is a text area that I put for feedback. I could just drag that out and to see if it's sent or not. So that's how that works. So this feedback HTML copy, Control F, Control V, is feedback mail. Feedback mail. Click. Where is it? Feedback mail. Why is it giving me grief? One of one. There it is there. So this is this on the form, and I'm pasting back the response back from the back end goes to there. Now let's try it out. So let's go to here, and so this is Gmail, where the mail server is configured to go to. Now let's see how I configured the mail server too. I forgot about that earlier. So we need to go to the back end. Whoops, which is here. This is the back end, and in here we have some config options, and I have my mailer.config, and here I put in my SMTP settings, mail server, and so on. And then in my mailer here we pick up mail server user. If I could put that into my clipboard and I go back to my subscriber, I go Control F and V, you can see that it's nothing there because why is that? Mail server user gets assigned. Where do I assign that? In server.js? No. Where do I assign that? Let's do a search the whole thing. Oh, that's why it's not finding it, because there's spaces in front. Mail server user is in my subscriber.js so in my transporter that I set up, I showed this earlier, the host is this host config SMTP host address, and config is up in, like I said, up in here. Config, mailer config, and that's how that works. And config is mapped up here at the top. Config is mapped to require mailer config, which is this file here at this location. And now config, I just Control F, go down, I just make the reference config dot, and that picks up the items in the config file. Dot mail user, so on. Okay, so that's the mail server, how it's set up. Very simple. So back to the front end. and we go back to the front end, and we're going to test this thing out, and we're going to refresh the page, and we can go in here and compose an email. This is my email, very nice email, and I click the send mail button, and of course it didn't work. Pause. Okay, it didn't work because I had my web server shut down, or my node server, so I'm going to go node npm run node server. So it's connected and running Mongo here and everything. Mongo's always up and running, and now I should be able to send an email. Send mail, and yes, it was sent, and you can see my back end said yeah, message sent. I'm logging this, and now on the email here, and we can see yes, there's the email with all this gobbledygook I just typed in, so it is working. And there you go. So let's test it out with Postman as well. So to make this work in Postman, we've got to set the content type to, we can't have this content type here. We have to have the same one on the front end. So right here, application JSON. That's how you test this thing. I'm going in reverse order because I tested it first. Come on. Put that there, and I can send a message from the body. So I'm going to send raw text. I'm going to send this, and I'm going to go FFF, FFF, FFF. So since I have my header set as application JSON content type, and body is pure raw JSON, I click send. The email gets sent, and I have a message back. And if I go back to see it out, you can see yes, FFF, it's sent, and my bulk emailer is working. Let's try sending another one. Let's paste some text into there. So let's say I have I'm going to just paste my whole form, my whole mail form on there, just for fun. Never did this before. Copy, copy. So I should be able to paste HTML on there. No, I guess not. I'll have to set this up so that people can send HTML on there. This is not good. How do I do that? Help. Clear formatting. Anyway, I'll just send this. It's not going to be HTML. And this is what was sent. All that stuff was sent, and I got it back. And if I go to the email, there it is here. And there's all the text I sent. So it's working like a charm. The other things that this thing does is that I can show the subscribers that are in the list. So anybody who's signed up to be a subscriber, here they are. And so I can send email to the subscribers by typing in the word. It says right here, you hover here, type in the word subscribers. subscribers, and if I click send, it'll send to all these subscribers in the list. They're not real people, so it won't send right now, but that's how it works. So I can also delete all the subscribers in the list and refresh the page and say show subscribers, and you can see that they're all gone. And I can choose to upload a CSV file to bring subscribers in. So I have a CSV file of my subscribers here. I submit, and now when I say show subscribers, you can see I've got all the subscribers. And then when I want to send mail bulk, I just type in send, or just subscribers, and go down and click send, and sent from. But we can see that it didn't send because there's nothing to be sent. There's no messages to send to. Sorry, there's no people to send to that are valid people. And that's it.